Welcome back to another episode of Footballin with Ben Roethlisberger. My name is Spence, and as always, I am joined here by two-time Super Bowl champion Ben Roethlisberger. Nice.
I feel like this is our first ever show. I feel like a rookie. Like, are we nervous? Like, what do we talk about? What are we doing? Like, it's been 2 weeks?
I think so. I don't remember when I think it was been 2 weeks. It does feel a little rusty, I'm not going to lie. So if this one's...
Sorry, everybody.
If the boat's a little shaky today, folks, sorry. But
that's because there's a lot of reasons, because we feel like we haven't done this. We're not professionals. We've been off for 2 weeks. So that means kids haven't had school for 2 weeks.
Yes.
Plus Christmas, plus New Year's, plus everything that's gone on. This podcast has been on the very, very back burner.
We are exhausted from being parents and husbands and the cleaning crew. But we're here. We are here. We made it back. And we have some really cool beers to try. But
that'll be fun.
Let me be the first to say Happy New Year, Ben.
Happy New Year, Spence. And Happy New Year to everyone out there, all the millions watching live around the world right now. Hope everyone had a very Merry Christmas. I know we did.
Yes. How was your Christmas?
Did you have a good Christmas?
We did. It was quiet.
Nice.
Yeah, which is my favorite kind of Christmas. Christmas is the one holiday that we told our families to, like, hey, this one's ours. Since we've been married, nice. We've done stuff with Thanksgiving here and there, but Christmas is the one that we keep in our house. So,
okay.
What'd you guys do for Christmas?
Does Key open the present? Like, does she care about anything but paper and boxes?
Just paper and boxes now, and then she got like a baby doll that she's infatuated with. But this is the first time. So she was born in November. So last Christmas she was here, but didn't really. Yeah. So this was the first time she was like the lights and everything. It was
cool.
Yeah, it was actually really cool. Which is, I've always heard parents. I think you've told me this. Parents tell me that, like, oh man, it gets better when you're kids.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't have like a frame of reference. And this was the first year. I'm like, I get it. This is amazing.
And we pulled the old, don't come down to the room till, like, we don't want them going. I know everyone's different. We don't let the kids go out to like the tree early.
Right.
We all go together.
Oh, I like that.
Because we don't want one getting up early, one feeling left out. So the rule is, we ask them, like, hey, what time do y'all think you want to do this? So we kind of compromised. Basically, it was 7:30.
Okay.
Y'all can come to our room and get us. Either wake us up or we leave to get whatever it is. But 7:30, you guys can come down to the room. No sooner. You can, and if it happens to be later, like if one of y'all come, then we'll go get everyone. We'll get everyone up.
Right.
So 7:30. So sure enough, it was like 7:29, 7:30. Like, door comes, here they come. And so it was 7:30, and we're ready to go, and they're all excited. They're running down the hallway. And
are you and Ash awake, just waiting for that knock?
No, we were asleep.
Okay.
Definitely asleep.
It's like, oh, here it goes.
Yeah, no, we were not ready for it. But it was a long night the night before.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was fun. The kids were through the roof, and then you have to kind of. I'd love to know what other people do, but we don't just say, like, okay, just go start tearing. It's like, kind of get your stuff, and then one at a time. Everyone watches one. Everyone watches one. Everyone watches 1, 2, and then after you get to like 4 or 5 or whatever it is, just kind of like, all right, go ahead. Start going.
I don't want to air my wife out, but her family did not grow up doing that, and so the first Christmas in our family, and it was like with the aunts and the uncles, and like we were at my aunt's house, and she just, I was like, hold up. Everyone's looking at her, and she felt so bad about that, but she didn't know.
No, yeah, but it's fun because then everyone has to watch and everyone helps, and so Santa they were happy with Santa. Nice. They actually liked Mom and Dad's gift too, which is always a plus.
You won up the big fella.
Maybe. Okay. Maybe. Bailey got an awesome crafting. Bailey loves to craft.
Yeah.
So she got this crafting desk that is in her room now. So she's got like, it's all organized, her paints and her pencils and all that stuff. And then the boys have a Pop-A-Shot. You know the game Pop-A-Shot basketball? Mm-hmm. So they have that up in the playroom. So that's been a lot of basketball in the house recently.
Yes.
A lot of elbow tendonitis. But no, it was a good Christmas. Hope everyone else had a good one out there. It was the season's fun, but you're almost like, when it's over, you're like, you can breathe a little bit.
Yes.
Then you double right back down with New Year's.
Yes.
Right. And you were here. We had a big New Year's party here. We had 5 kids here.
Yeah,
nuts.
I thought Jade said 29.
Was there? Oh. There were a lot.
Yes.
There were a lot of kids here, which means a lot of adults. But it was fun.
Yeah.
And I think it was like 4 o'clock in the morning when we finally went to bed.
Yes. Yeah. You and Ash were kind enough to let me, my wife, and my daughter spend the night here. And when I finally got to lay down on the bed, I looked at my phone and said 4 o'clock in the morning. And I thought, in 4 hours, my daughter's going to wake up.
Yeah.
Turns out she woke up in 2. So yeah, good for
even better.
Had a quick little nap.
We got lucky because our kids slept in, so it was good. But it was just, it just catches. You get older, it catches back up to you. So,
yes, it does.
This is going to be a quick one tonight, I think. And we get to talk about 2 games. We have a lot to talk about still.
We have a lot to talk about, but I'm still feeling it because, like you said, your kids got to sleep in. 1-year-olds
don't sleep in.
They don't care.
For some reason.
They don't care about you. You know what's funny though is we did post off to our left. I guess would be your right watching it. We have the little.
Oh yeah, our little sign.
Yeah, the sign. We did a little post wishing people Happy New Year, and a lot of people were upset. They were upset that you had the nerve to show up on the internet without having Crocs or socks on.
Well, to be honest,
your shoes were on point though.
But to be honest, I think it was more like that's my dressing up a little bit. Like I think Ash would have been like, "Come on, you can't put something nicer on." Mm-hmm. You're right. That I'm sorry, fans. Trust. I mean, I got them on now.
Yeah.
But
now we'll never get sponsored, man.
Never. No, we'll never have a sponsor ever.
Yes.
No, that was a fun night.
Yes, it was
a fun night, and I got to give a quick shout out,
please, to
my niece Avery. Went up and watched her softball tournament. She plays for the Outlaws.
Okay.
And it was fun watching them. They're a really good team, so it was fun watching.
Look at you, man.
So, shout outs, Avery, Outlaws.
Good for them, man. I'm assuming for the shout out they won the game.
They won the first game we went to and then lost the second one. But the team they played had this girl that is she's 13, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a 14 under tournament that they're all about to move up divisions, but she's being recruited by everybody in the country. She's the real deal. Dude,
youth sports is so different.
She's the real deal. Softball, I think they said that she's been clocked at 65, which I think in softball is through the roof.
Yeah, I can't.
I don't either, but it's supposedly unbelievable. So, but
well, good for them, man.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, there is a lot to cover. Mm-hmm. There is a lot to cover. A lot happened in not only in the NFL but also and Steeler Nation, man. So it's important that we jump into that because this ain't gonna be one of them 3-hour joints.
No, it is not.
Okay,
folks.
so
there's a game. The Rose Bowl's finishing up right now, and there's an unbelievable Monday night game on Bills Bengals, and we will not be watching that with you.
No, I'm not.
Unfortunately,
dude, I love you, bro, but I'm not gonna hang out here. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
But with that being said, let's jump into the first beer, and the first beer is actually. All of them are going to be fan sent in ones tonight.
Cool.
All right, so the first beer, it was sent with a note that has a very beautiful story about how a brewery made this beer to support a member of its community. And I'll actually just give you the note because I think it's important for you to read. I'll pour it up. But here it is. It's already in Beer Cam, folks. We do have Beer Cam. There it is. I'm going to actually need to grab it from the Beer Cam to be able to read it. But it is called Wreckless. It's a double hazy IPA. The ABV is 7.1. The IBU is 23. And it is from Ashtown Brewing Company. And it was sent in by fans. And I'm sorry, I don't have the name. Ben has the note. But we will give a shout out here in a moment. But as you're reading that, you able to give us a little bit of the backstory that they shared on that note?
Yeah. Wow. Very cool, very kind of sad. I'm not, basically, they sent us this beer, and it sent us a couple beers, but this is the one that we're going to do. It basically says that Mike is a fan of the podcast and said that they need to send us some beers. So that's where it came from. And Mike Sharp is the Ashtown Brewing Mug Club member, number 69. So he's the Ashtown Brewing Mug Club member.
Okay.
And then Jarrett Screen, I'm saying that, hopefully that's right. Jarrett Screen is the owner of he's the owner/brewer of Ashtown Brewing Company. So thank you, Jarrett, for making this. Thank you for Mike for doing all this stuff. But basically what it says here is that the background of this Wreckless IPA is sad, but long story short, they lost a local sheriff deputy in the line of duty 3 years ago. And it was very well known in the community. To raise money for his wife and family, they created the Wreckless Hazy IPA after his nickname and favorite style of beer. And they're keeping the tradition going. And at the request, the family donates the proceeds to the Behind the Badge Foundation. So that's pretty cool. The Behind the Badge Foundation which helps the families in similar tragedies. So we are excited to try this beer. We hate that someone had to lose their life to do it, but my family, I know you, and in this podcast, obviously likes to support our men and women, first responders.
Yes, sir.
And so this is cool. I'm excited to try this. And thank you to Mike and Jarrett, and obviously sending love to the family. Obviously, it's been 3 years, so I'm sure, but it's still never easy to do. And I think what we'll do after I try this beer, I mean, we're going to do it, but let's try this beer first. I think we should, we'll do something special for them.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Let's try
you
this
know, my stepdad was a corporal of the sheriff's department.
I did know that. I mean, I knew that.
Yeah, man. So the fact that you have a local brewery getting behind your men and women.
All the way in Longview, Washington.
Law enforcement. Oh, okay. Across the country. Love what you guys are doing there, Ashtown. Here we go. What do you think? That's very flavorful.
That's really good.
That is very good. You've kind of become like an IPA savant.
Well, thank you.
Like when we started this, it was, I don't want to say we like lighter beers, but I'm still like I like a good lager. This is very delicious. It's very light to me, but you've been like you're picking out notes. You're turning me on to other IPAs, man. This is you're like a real deal now, bro.
My beer fridge down there used to be full of non-craft beers, as I've learned.
Yes.
Right? All kinds of what would you call those?
Domestic, mass-produced
beers.
I'm out here right now. That was great.
That was awesome. That was perfect. You guys can figure out what that is.
Yeah, you know.
And now it's just there's very few of those. Obviously, the Yellow Belly's on tap, but I mean, there's a couple down there. But there's just crafters everywhere down there.
Your fridge makes you look like a legit beer dude, like a what do they call it? Cesar.
Like a guy that would have a podcast about drinking beer.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, you should have one of those. So break this beer down for us. What do they call it? Cicerone? Are you a
sommelier?
A beer sommelier, it has a term.
I know. We've asked this before. People give us the answer and we still forget it.
Because we are not professionals.
Man. You know what I'm going to do? And not just because that beer is really good, but the Footballin family, which is me and you.
Yes.
We're going to donate to the Behind the Badge Foundation.
Let's do it.
All right. And I'll look it up and we'll figure it out. But so this one out to you guys. So Mike and Jarrett for doing this, send these beers on behalf of Footballin. We're gonna donate $5,000 to Behind the Badge Foundation.
Ooh, buddy.
So hopefully that does a little bit to help everybody, and we appreciate all of you men and women out there, first responders, police, fire, search and rescue, EMT, Bridge 99, off the bombs. I mean, everything you could think of. But thank you, first responders, the men and women that do that. Appreciate it very much. Thank you for the beer. That's very good.
Yes, sir.
Well done, Ashtown Brewing and Jarrett.
Yeah, and
good job.
Ashtown, they got its name from like a volcano, right?
That's what I heard. Yes.
Yeah. So
on the back of one of them,
like a volcano erupted and like it was covered in ash.
Covered ash.
That story is told better from Ashtown Brewery. So go check them out. Ashtown Brewery out in Washington. You said
Washington, the state, Longview, Washington.
Longview, Washington. Thank you guys so much. That's huge.
I've also, as we're going through these, I'd like that a lot. We have a few letters here just from people that have sent beers in that didn't make the show necessarily, but we want to give shout outs.
Yeah. Do you want to do a little fan appreciation segment real quick?
Oh, yeah. Fan appreciation.
Here you go.
Awesome.
Here you go.
All right. This first one, there's a picture. I won't air your business out, but there's a picture of your kids on here. Jill Platt, just Steeler fans, and they sent us in Birdfish. Which is a local brewery in Columbiana, Ohio. It is very good. So it's Hip to Sip is the name of the beer. And it was very delightful. So thank you, Jill Platt. Appreciate it. And the kids have 7 jerseys on. Awesome. Another one from just showing that we're worldwide. Well, this isn't really worldwide, but it's still like we're like this is part of the country.
Is it still in our country? Well,
yeah, it's New Mexico.
America is in the world, so technically.
I know we do have fans around the world.
Yes.
And when I said this is from New Mexico.
All right.
So just want to say thank you to Coda Thomas, Steelers Nation New Mexico chapter.
Hey.
Yeah, that's right. And sent in like a 7-pack, just a bunch of different local favorites from New Mexico. So we had some of those this weekend for New Year's. So thank you to Coda for this. Their favorite beer is the Pearl Haggard by EX Novo.
Nice.
Awesome. Oh, this one we've had for a little bit. We haven't had a chance to talk about it, but I want to say thank you to Jasmine Nicole Richardson. It is they're from Charlottesville, Virginia.
Okay.
And, she sent in a bunch of craft ciders.
Oh, dude, those were delicious.
Yes, we had a bunch of those ciders. The Potter's Craft Cider. They put together a whole package. They're very tasty, but it's 0 grams of sugar, 0 grams of carbs, gluten-free. So
that's important for me because I work out, folks.
I don't eat sugar. Actually, I'm just my New Year's resolution.
Yeah, I'm
going to try and get a little healthier.
Okay.
Gotta lose my retirement pounds.
We might need to switch this to a salad show then, bud. This probably isn't conducive to...
It's not the best thing. We'll figure it out. But anyway, thank you so much to Jasmine Nicole Richardson and everyone at Potter's Craft Cider. Got just a couple more.
Yeah, man, take your time. This is your show.
This is from Danny in Castle Rock, Colorado. Sent in 3 different beers that we tried and had this weekend as well.
Yes.
It was what was I forget the brewery. Oh, Burley Brewing Company.
Oh, yes.
Remember those?
Those are big boys.
Yeah, Burley Brewing Company. Thank you very much. Thank you, Danny. Appreciate the support from out in Colorado.
Those are very delicious, and they were like crowlers.
Huge.
Yes.
This is from Napa Smith Brewery, and it's Mike Forte.
Those were delicious.
They were very good.
And we emphasize were.
They were very good.
Because we done had them.
Yeah, Napa Smith Brewery, Mike Forte. Cheers. Thank you. Sent in a bunch of different things. I feel like there was one. Was there one in this one I didn't like? Oh, yeah. You know why?
Let me guess. Is it a stout?
It was an Imperial Porter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was like motor oil.
Thank you to Shoe Brew.
Oh, hit him with it.
Wrong way. We drank your guys' beers, too.
That's a unique shirt. Is that all that shirt says?
Yeah, it doesn't really say much. Let me grab this piece of paper back.
Yeah. Go ahead. Oh, interesting. What's up?
Something in the back?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't say anything. It's just has a number 7.
Isn't that so funny? They gave that shirt to us. So thank you guys at Shoe Brew. But that's the reason I didn't like the first beer, is because it's the Bonfire Imperial Porter.
See, your mouth won't even let you pronounce it because it's afraid.
Hey, Mike Forte. The other ones of these were amazing. A couple really, really liked. I liked the North Bay Hazy IPA a lot.
The Pilsner was delicious.
Yeah, the Pilsner was good. The Mosaic of Galaxies.
Yeah.
We liked a lot of these. Next time, when you send stuff in, Mike, let's just not send the porters. And actually, our other friends liked it, so it was good. So thanks, Mike. Last one. And this is actually, we've had stuff from these guys before, but from Angie. They're in... Oh, great treat. Yeah, they're in Cleveland, but her and her husband are lifelong Steeler fans.
Brave.
Yes. The cool thing is her husband's grandfather was a radio polka DJ. Polka DJ? Radio polka DJ back in the 50s.
Yes.
And dubbed the Dean of Polka in Pittsburgh.
Oh, my man's the Dean of Polka out here?
So they sent some ciders from Arsenal Cider House, which we love Arsenal Cider House.
Dude.
So thank you, Angie and Jim Chikoski, I believe I'm saying it right, from Brunswick, Ohio. So thank you guys very much. Thank you, all the fans, everyone that sent stuff in. Other people have sent stuff in, too. That's just a couple we wanted to hit, plus the ones that we're going to hit today. So I want to hit this.
And we will get to. We do have a handful more that we're excited to get to. The Arsenal Ciders is a local from. They have a tap house in Sorgels here in Pittsburgh.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude.
We like their stuff,
dude. The ones they sent over are the snow melt, or was it the cinnamon snow joint?
Yeah.
Dude,
you drink cinnamon flavored beer?
Yeah. What is it? You like fruity beer?
It's very good.
It's delicious, bro.
Very, very good.
Yeah. So. The king of what is the Dean? King of Polka?
The Dean.
The Dean of Polka?
The Dean of Polka in Pittsburgh.
I just keep thinking
back in the 50s.
I keep picturing John Candy in planes, trains, and automobiles. So yeah, thank you guys so much for doing that. If you guys are listening to the show, watching the show right now, and you have a favorite beer that is local to you, and you'd like to send it in and see what Ben thinks of it, the address to send that in is going to be in the description of this episode. So send it on in. We are excited to try it. And with that being said, I think we should jump into a little bit of football. You know something about that.
We should, because we can spend like the next bit of time talking about, because there's 2 games we missed.
Yes.
Steelers stuff. We can talk about whatever. But I do like one thing I thought about in my notes I had written down here because I didn't want to forget it. And to me, this is truly like one of the cooler things that's happened to us recently. This show has been amazing. I thank you to your fans. You guys are the ones that make it happen. And we've gotten lots of subscribers, lots of people watching, lots of likes. As you guys remember from the last episode, I think with Neil, we're going to start adding food into it to make it fun, bring some different diversity into it. We're going to do something cool coming up. We'll get more details as we move, maybe next week's episode, but we're going to do our first ever live audience recording of the show. I say that right?
Yeah, you're talking about in person. It won't be live streamed.
Not live streamed.
It'll be taped, but it will be a live show that people can come to.
Fans, some fans. It'll be a local brewery. Food. We'll have some awesome guests, but we don't have a lot of details. We're just trying to, whet your appetite to that. But my point in saying that is the show is growing, the baby steps, which is all we're asking for. We're not trying to do anything crazy. We're just trying to give you guys a little glimpse into our lives, our faith, our family, football, food now, and our beer. But we got, in my opinion, paid a pretty high compliment. This last week or the week before from the Pat McAfee show.
Oh yes, so on Friday. And so obviously Pat is, he's the gold standard when it comes to the podcast. I know sports and stuff. I know Joe Rogan's got some big. I don't even know who else has huge ones, but I know that like what Pat does is truly unbelievable. I mean, he does it all. He's good because he knows his stuff. Yes,
he's crazy funny. And now he's growing so much. You see him on college game days. You see him at games he's a Pittsburgh guy. I think Pittsburgh, West Virginia. Yeah, Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
He went to college in
West Virginia. WVU, I think that's what I was thinking of, WVU. But he talked about our show on his show.
Not only did he talk about this show on his show, which thank you guys for that. They were very complimentary towards you, my friend. Apparently, you might have a future in this talking business, and coming from him,
coming from him
is a big deal, because I remember the first time I saw his show, I was like, this dude has it figured out. Mm-hmm. He's what they're doing. All those guys, what they're doing over there, they are developing or already developed. They have the future of sports media
for sure.
I mean, that is like you said, that's the blueprint for the future.
Well, the fact of the matter, and I don't remember exactly how it went, but the fact that didn't something happen, I think this year, where like the NFL said you couldn't use, or the NFL said something like they couldn't use a clip of something. Something happened.
No, I watched that clip. Yeah, they couldn't use something. And basically, Pat was like, and I don't remember how the song went down, so I'll probably screw up. But the point of saying this is, like Pat said, well, we pay this or we do something, like we're one of your biggest, like we help you guys out. Yeah.
And the NFL backed down.
Yeah.
Like the fact,
but that's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's so unbelievable. The fact that you can get the NFL is like, just ask them. They're God.
Yes.
Like just ask them.
Yes.
And Roger and all those guys. I mean, it doesn't get any bigger than them.
Yes.
And the fact that Pat got the show got them to be like, you're right, my bad. Like, dude, unbelievable. Like literally.
Tip of the cap. They're the biggest sports show in the world.
Yes.
Numbers might challenge that. I don't know what around the world, and I know soccer's huge, but like when you talk about cultural impact,
they're doing it, and it's awesome. So the fact of the matter, they talked about us on their show and gave us a little compliment. Thank you, Pat, and the rest of the show. Just a huge honor, and I'm very serious. We're just a little. We're like I can't say we're their little brother. We're like their like.
Stepbrother,
third cousin or something. Like we're just like way down there. But anyway, someday maybe we'll get lucky. We'll get Pat on the show or something. That would be huge, man. I mean, I don't know how many he must have more hours in his day than me, man, because that man does everything from WWE to it amazes me. He's so funny.
Yeah. Pat's not paying us to say it. I don't know. We don't know Pat. So I'm just.
I've played against him, but no.
Just a
pretty
fan.
Cool. We're fans, and we're thankful and think it's just really cool that
crushing,
we're geeking out that we got mentioned by.
I remember I texted you. I was like, "Hey, bro, did you see what?"
I was like, "No." Anyway,
that's
thank
awesome,
you.
Man.
So anyway,
speaking of which, I want to jump into the NFL for sure because obviously we have. But I mean, it's a big day or a big weekend for college football, and this might serve as a decent segue because Pat McAfee's doing the college game day, but he caught the one hand. I don't remember what game it was at, but he caught it like a one hand, the field goal. He caught it one handed while he was reporting.
It doesn't surprise me because Pat, like people could like, there's this like stigma around kickers, right?
Oh yeah,
punters and kickers
for sure.
Pat wasn't a kicker. Pat was an athlete.
Yeah.
Like what he could do, like he was an athlete.
Have you seen him in the WWE?
No.
Oh, dude, it's wild. Well, see here's the thing. Like even watching his show, I think because it's a sports show and he played in the NFL, it's easy to assume that he like, oh, Pat's an athlete first. He's not, man. He fooled the world into that. He's an entertainer first.
Yeah.
Like that. Like you cut that dude, entertainment will come, and you've seen that. Like after his football career, to where like, yes, he's a freak athlete. That's given. He proved that. But like to be able to change lanes like that and successfully at everything he does is wildly impressive. But my point in mentioning that was there were, I feel like some upset college games this weekend.
There were a lot of craziness going on. Congratulations to Coach Franklin and Penn State. They just won the Rose Bowl. Huge. The two, there are a lot of them, but the two kind of championship games, Georgia, Ohio State, and TCU, Michigan. Yeah. Unbelievable football. Unbelievable football. That's why I love college football, because that's just so cool to watch. You just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, dude.
You never know what's going to happen. You never know who's going to win, and it'll be a heck of a game with Georgia and TCU. I would look forward to that one, but. College football's fun. It's so much fun, and
these bowl games. How many bowl games are there? You're gonna have to educate me because I know
there's a billion now.
Yeah, I know very little about sports, even less about college sports.
There's a lot. I don't even know. I couldn't.
So obviously, Rose Bowl, big deal,
huge.
But like, is the Little Caesars Bowl? Listen, and that's no shade to college athletes. These men dedicate their lives in. To be out there is an achievement in and of itself, but
there's a lot of bowl games.
Would you? You're not like there's stoked to go to like the.
Well, a lot of guys opt out. There are guys opt out of even the Rose Bowls.
How do you feel about that? College athletes opting out.
I don't know. I'm torn on it. I don't know that I would do it. Yeah. But I'm not in the situation. I feel like when you're with your brothers, you put all the work in. You did it all forever, and through the off season, you played every game together, and then you get out there and it's like. All right, I'm just going to kind of go.
I know.
That to me, that like hurts my heart a little bit. But on the flip side, I understand what they're doing.
Yeah.
They got a lot of money potentially coming to them really soon. Don't want to take a chance because there have been guys recently, almost every year. There is a player that gets hurt that had a bright NFL future. So it's like that happens. So it is tough. I think these new NIL deals might make it different though, because guys are already making a lot of money.
Sure.
The kid at North Carolina, who I think is maybe the best college quarterback out there right now, and one of the better ones I've seen in a long time, I think it's Drake. He supposedly turned down like multiple $5 million deals from other schools to transfer.
Word.
Which is like to even fathom that's unbelievable. Like not just the money, but to fathom that can happen in college sports right now. Is mind blowing to me. So I don't know. And also I want to give as we're watching, just they showed him Kirk Herbstreit is an amazing. He's done great. He was doing Thursday night football in Tennessee.
Yes.
Then flies to then did Ohio State. Then does this.
Kirk Herbstreit has not slept in 72 hours,
and he's makes it fun to watch.
Yeah.
But
do you think that if the the transfer portal NIL option was around when you were in college, that you would have considered going to a bigger school for the payday? No,
I don't think so. I think here's my thing. I think what the transfer portal is doing is it's creating a lack of competitive spirit in guys, right? So if all of a sudden they recruit a guy in, or you go there and you're a sophomore and it's like your turn, a chance to play, and they recruit a freshman to come and he's highly recruited. Well, I'm just going to transfer because he's going to get the job. Well, what about trying to beat the dude out?
Yeah,
what about like busting your butt to say no? That's my job.
Yeah.
Like, do that. Give it a chance to try and like fight for your job. Don't just all of a sudden, well, I got nothing else to do. I'm just going to transfer. Like, I don't know.
What impact do you think that's going to make on the league? Because now you're getting dudes who are catching this. You're getting college players who are making more money than some guys in the NFL.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Quite a bit.
So do you think that's going to water down the pool of players that gets to the league, because it feels like you can make it in college. And so as you're talking about that competitive spirit, do you think that's going to change the dynamic of the competitive, like those athletes getting into the league?
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know. I think that guys, you get up there and you know, because we're going to talk about, I would like to talk about Franco and that Steelers team, because it makes me think about like those, like in the 70s, like those Steelers teams stayed together. Like they didn't go anywhere because there was no free agency. So those teams, you got to know each other so well, you stayed together. Now it's almost like free agency. You know, each person out there is like their own business to a certain extent. I get it. And sometimes guys act that way and play the game that way and get injured, but like spend time in the training room that way. And yes, there is definitely an element of taking care of yourself because you are the breadwinner for your family, you know, whatever it may be. But there's also something to be said about, you know, sometimes sucking it up and getting out there to play with your teammates and your brothers. And you know, that's in the NFL too. Like you just, you know, college, that going to that bowl game, I know I'm rambling a little bit, but it just feels like sometimes that's some of that playing for your brother has been lost.
Well, that's interesting, man, because I don't know if you remember this, but it was probably a couple of years ago. We were having a conversation. It was you, me, and Switz. And I asked a question. It was like after a small group or something. I asked a question. I said, how big of a role does personal brand play in the NFL? And will there ever be a time when personal brand dictates more of team dynamic than skill level? And both of you unanimously said no. It's all about winning. But if the motivation for the player is the paycheck, do you think that there'll ever be a time when, because as you're saying that everyone's their own business, do you think there'll ever be a time when the personal brand is so lucrative?
I think this. I think winning is still the ultimate goal for everybody. I pray it is. That being said, I think the personal brand and the money you can make is closing that gap quickly. Like, I think at the end of the day, for the most part, I sure hope that people would be like, you know what? I'm going to take a championship over anything else. But I don't know that it's that way with everybody anymore. It used to be that way, I think, with everybody. Everybody was like, I know guys in the Hall of Fame that never won a Super Bowl I'll take that ring. Yeah, my teammates. But it's definitely starting to. That meter's starting to go the other direction because there's guys out there that, I want to win. I want to win a Super Bowl. I want to have a ring. But you know what? I'm the best this, or I'm the second best this, or I'm all pro this, or I'll make my contract's this. Yeah. So I definitely think that's.
Yeah. Well, I thought you brought up a interesting point too with those 70s like Steeler teams. Is I think part of their not only their DNA, but the culture of Steelers football in the city was birthed out of that loyalty to one another. And you see that within the fan base. Like Steeler fans are, it's like a religion out here, man. So if that gap closes and you have that kind of personal brand development affecting the team, what is the ultimate team sport, what do you think that then does to the NFL or football in America? Do you think that gives opportunities for these other leagues, your XFLs, your USFLs, to kind of step in, or
maybe
overseas?
NFL,
I don't know.
NFL still rules.
I mean, it's an animal. It's bigger than anybody can imagine.
It's so much bigger. I don't know. It'd take a lot for that to change. As contracts keep getting bigger and bigger. Yeah. It's just how does it change when quarterbacks are making what they're making? It's crazy, and it's not going anywhere. It's not changing. It's going to keep getting bigger. Yeah, because the NFL keeps making more and more money.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that, especially as they're spreading, internationally. But let's just pray that we still got some dogs out there.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So that's an interesting conversation. I could land on that conversation for hours, and I think you and I actually have had that conversation for hours. But you touched on it with Franco, man. I do want to jump into that game because I think that was obviously a tragic event for not only Steelers Nation, but friends, family. But I'd love to hear your insight on that, your input, and and then we can jump into that game. Afterwards.
It was tough to hear about his passing just a few days before. They're honoring him, retiring his number, the 50th anniversary of the Immaculate Reception, Raiders coming to town. I mean, I just saw him a couple weeks before.
Wow.
And just so much life. Always smiling, always happy. Give you a handshake and a hug, and I know I mentioned in that video that we posted about our ping pong battle, but just always life and energy, and just such a good person. And the honor that he was being bestowed on him that weekend was so well deserved. Not just for that play he made, but for everything he did. What it is to be a Steeler. He's that. Yeah. He's a teammate, a loyal brother, bleeds black and gold. And so it just was too bad that he couldn't be there to get that honor. I know he was there in spirit. His family was there, his wife and his son. But Steeler Nation, that's a big blow. Yeah. That Steeler Nation that hit us, and he's family, not just to the guys that he played with, that were his teammates, but to all of us. Like we all, once you wear that jersey, you're always family. And so it's family, and it was tough to be there. I'm sure, you saw people crying in the stands. I mean, people that remember the Immaculate Reception, remember him when he played and all that stuff. It's probably gonna mean even more too. But the relationship that I had with him is truly a friend. It's tough, man. It's really tough. I'm glad the Steelers pulled it out and they won it the way they did. Kenny throwing the late touchdown down the seam in some weather that was awful. Like, I remember I think some other people were texting me like, do you wish you were out here playing this game? And I was like, do you see how cold it looks out there? Yeah. I said, no, I'm not. I don't miss the cold and getting hit, but that was windy and cold, and that's when that front went through. And just a crazy game. I mean, what a crazy game. Just kind of going back and forth, and you're like, man, you just don't know which way it's going to go. Yeah, you truly don't know what it's going to do. And then it comes down to the end, and just what you need to happen. It's Pat Freiermuth making plays. It's Kenny scrambling around, finding Pat. And it reminded me a lot of what I would do in those situations. Like, you find your guy. Yes. You find Heath Miller. You find AB. You find Hines. You find whoever that person was when it's time, crunch time, and you just scramble and find him. And they plays ball. And Kenny and Pat right now are playing ball. Call it backyard, but they are. Kenny's getting out of the pocket, making things happen. Pat's breaking his route off, doing whatever it is. I wish I knew his numbers exactly, but I don't think he had many catches up to that last drive. Yeah. And then all of a sudden he's got 2 or 3 catches, big catches. And it's not like Pat catches and goes down either. It's never a catch and tackle. It's a catch and rumble. Adding 3, 4, 5, 10, 12 extra yards onto it to give them a chance. And then sure enough, Kenny throws a beautiful seam ball to Pickens for the win, and I thought it was unbelievable. And it was actually over. Obviously, the Raiders had a chance to go down and do it, and they threw an interception. And just what an unbelievable game, unbelievable way to win it, to end it, to keep playoff hopes alive going into the Baltimore week, which we know we just had, and to honor Franco. Yeah, I mean, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I thought the exact same thing, bro. When it was getting down to the wire, I was like, hey, man, this looks a little familiar. My man out here scrambling. And I think it shows a lot of growth for Kenny, though, too, man, because I think if you watch the beginning half of the season, he's scrambling. Like, he's not scrambling out looking downfield. In the beginning half of the season, he's scrambling and just taking off.
He's trying to run.
Right? Yeah, he's trying to run athleticism. Right. And so I think what I've seen the last couple of weeks from him is really encouraging as a fan. Like, all right, cool. He's going to get out the pocket and then let his boys do the work and not try to just go take a hit, try to get 3 or 4 yards. He's getting 14. He's getting 12. So I think that was really encouraging. And then to bring it home, I mean, there was no way they were walking out without a W that night, dude.
Well, and he's been taking care of the ball too, which is huge, which gets easier as you play. Yeah. And so he did really, really good in that in the Raider game. I did throw that one pick, but with the elements that there were out there, I thought he threw the ball really well and played well. And
What's the most challenging? I mean, obviously, it's just it being cold makes everything tougher, right? What's the most challenging thing playing quarterback that somebody who's never had to do it in 10-degree weather or that we wouldn't know is challenging that he had to overcome to be able to do that?
Yeah. Two things. Wind is really tough for quarterbacks. It is. I mean, there's the amount of spin you put on your ball will dictate how the ball goes through the wind. Physics, right? If the ball spins more, it's going to cut through the wind better.
Are you alchemist stuff?
I mean, that's what but then there's also a caveat to that. So if you're a tight ball, the ball spinning real hard, cuts through the wind, usually has a real nice, pretty deep ball. The downside to it is the ball spinning more when it gets to the receiver. So sometimes it's harder to catch, right? Because if you're trying to catch a ball that's got a ton of rotation on it, it can bounce off your hands a little bit. So the other side of that is a ball that maybe doesn't spin quite as tight. It still spirals, but maybe it's not that the rotations per minute or second or whatever you'd want to call it, right, is a little less. Now it's going to be affected by the wind a little more because it's not that tightness, but it's a much easier ball to catch. So it's kind of like a twofold. In the wind, that's why I would wear gloves in the wind, because I would get that. I'm more of a less spin guy.
Okay.
So if I wear gloves, it would tighten that spin up, which would help you cut it through the wind. So that's why I would wear gloves in the wind, which, Kenny always wears gloves, but maybe that's, helped him in that game or whatever. So those are kind of the elements when it comes to playing football in the wind. And then the second thing is when it's cold out and you're getting hit, it's miserable. Like hitting somebody probably doesn't feel good either, but you're doing the hitting. To get hit, especially at quarterback when you're not looking sometimes, you feel it so much more than you normally would.
Yeah.
It always hurts, but it hurts that much more when it's cold.
Yeah, I remember you told me one time that it's not necessarily like the tackle. I mean, yeah, that hurts, right, but it's I just threw it and you nicked your knuckle on a helmet.
The stupid small things.
It's
the stupid small things hurt so much in the cold. I mean, anyone that's been out in the cold, I mean, something like that happens, like you say, the helmet hurts a little more, the ball hurts a little more. I mean, just everything's, I don't know, it's just not fun.
Yeah. I remember watching that game thinking no part of me wants to be there. My house was so warm. Mm-hmm. I didn't have to wait in line for the bathroom. It was all the food I'd already paid for. It was great. Yeah. So I think that win and actually before we jump, because I want to jump into
do a beer.
Yeah, let's do a beer.
Because we'll do a beer, then we'll talk Baltimore.
Yeah. Look at this, man. We got like a schedule down.
Figure it out.
That was our production meeting, by the way, just then.
Just now.
Yeah.
The Bengals are looking really good right now. They are a football team to be reckoned with right now.
Got a real
run they have a real run in them. And I think it starts. I mean, at Joe's where it starts. Here's what I'd say. People ask me all the time, and I was going to get into this when I talked about Kenny, but I'll preface it here. When people ask me, what do you think of this quarterback? What do you think? It's always after their first year. Right, they're a rookie.
Yeah.
What do you think of this guy? And I always say, ask me after year 3, because year 1 almost anybody can sneak up on anybody, and good things can happen.
Yep.
Year 2, maybe they still haven't quite figured you out because you haven't played everybody yet.
Sure.
Right, you're still working through AFC, NFC teams. But by year 3, teams know you. Defensive coordinators can plan for you.
Yep.
You've got it figured out or you don't. And sometimes I'll say 3 or 4. Good ones, I'll know it. You'll know at 3. Some you might be like, give me one more year.
Sure.
Joe, early on, I was like, okay, he played at LSU with some of the most amazing receivers and some of the most amazing talent that you've ever seen. So when he came to the league, I was like, okay, yeah, he's good, he's talented, but I want to see. The jury's still out, the verdict's still out.
Sure, yeah.
So I was like, let's wait. And then every year I've been watching him and played against him a couple times, and I wasn't overly sure.
Yeah.
I'm still like, okay, he's good. Don't get me wrong, watching Super Bowl. Anytime you get to the Super Bowl, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But now, in watching him, and maybe because I'm not playing so I can actually watch him more, that might be as much of what it is. To sit there and actually watch Joe is one of the elites in the league. He's good. His pocket presence, he can move, he can run enough. He's a sneaky good runner.
Yep.
I'm telling you what, I really like. I don't think it's too long till he's in MVP like talks. I really believe that. And so I can't say enough about Joe, and it hurts me to say that about a division opponent, but I'm not in the division anymore, so it doesn't matter.
All right, so this is Hellgate Honey Hefewiezen.
Oh, well, honey.
We used all the H's in this one. It's from Kettle Brewing Company in Missoula, Montana, and this was sent in by Sierra Watson Bunge. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, but Sierra and her family are huge Steeler fans out in Montana, out in Yellowstone country. You know, and so they sent in a couple beers.
What if they know the Duttons?
They gotta know. Okay. Yeah, it's everyone's. It's you know how like you grow up and you think everybody in California like is like Hollywood. Yeah, it's like that. And everybody in Montana knows the Duttons. And they sent in a couple. One actually was that you had the Otter Water.
Oh, I had that last
New Year's.
2 nights ago.
Yeah. So this is the other one that they sent in. Big fans. And I'll read this from Kettle House Brewing. They said this is...
Smells good.
Yeah, it's just from one of their local breweries. Not a beer big drinker. But
not a beer big drinker?
No.
You said not a beer big drinker.
Did I? Well, I'm good with these words, bud. Not a big beer drinker.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, see, people think...
You don't have to be a beer drinker to set us beers.
No, but she likes every once in a while I like one. People think I've been drinking too much. I just not good at talking. That's the problem.
Just today, we're tired still.
Yes, dude, I'm so tired right now. All right, so Hellgate has been a perennial favorite in our tap rooms for years. Now available in a can. It's a smooth drinker for those hot summer days. So we've already messed that up because it's the dead of winter.
Yes.
The honey helps boost the alcohol content while also adding a floral banquet to the nose. Yeast is left in the beer to add body, head, retention, and stability. You want to make sure it's stable.
Yes.
As well as a slight haziness, 4% and 16 IBU. I'm sorry, 4.8%. What do we think, Ben?
I smell the floral.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, dude. The aeration gets me every time.
And it gets that. No one likes it.
No, dude. The problem is, I have my ears in, so I like whatever it sounds like out here is magnified in my head.
Justin Bryant doesn't like it. He thinks that he was making fun of me this weekend.
Yeah. Well, tell him to start his own show and don't do it.
Mm-hmm. Don't watch my show then, Justin. That's good. That's very, very mild, very smooth.
Yeah.
Not overly sweet.
No. It does taste like it'd be delicious on a hot summer in Montana.
I think anything would probably be delicious in Montana.
You've been to Montana, right? You've been there?
I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Dude.
Yes. Yes.
I would go to Kalispell, Montana once a year.
Okay.
For like when we were on tour, we would always do a show in Kalispell. And it's like Kalispell.
Oh, okay.
And so it's an airport. Its airport has 3 terminals.
Yeah.
And when there's no flights, they just shut the airport down. Yeah. So we were flying out of it, and they're like, "Hey, man, you can't be here. It's close. We don't have no flights till 9 o'clock." So we rented a car and went to Glacier National Park and came back. So yeah, Kalispell.
Sometimes you got to make a road trip.
Yeah, it was great.
I like that. Thank you, Sierra.
Sierra. How would you rate that out of 10?
It's good. 7.
Yeah,
solid. Yeah, it's good.
Solid. Very good.
It's good. I had a thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of thought?
I don't know. It fleeted away.
Oh,
I just thought of it again.
Okay.
We have a friend who I don't really want to give him, a shout out on this podcast.
That's how you know he's a good friend.
Because you don't want him to get a big head because there's millions watching. But we have a friend, Brendan Conley. Did I say that out loud? Who wanted to know. And so if we could have some help out there, because we think we know the answer.
I'll bleep his name just to make him angry.
Oh, man, it's so funny. He asked the question. He posed the question to us on New Year's.
Oh, that's right.
Remember this?
Yes.
And so we would like, if there's any professionals out there that can answer, we'd like a professional answer if there is one. Because there's a lot of people that think they're professionals like us.
Yeah.
That think we have an answer.
For sure.
But we don't know if there's any scientific evidence to it, correct?
Yeah, 100%. That's all my opinions.
So the question that was posed to us was, can a beer go from cold to warm to cold, or can it get warm to cold? Can it change temperatures and still be good? We think no.
Okay, I was gonna say, what did you
I said no.
Yeah,
that's because I believe I've had skunky beer, and I don't know what else makes a beer skunky. It's not old.
No, I said no because I'm an adult. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing?
But he brought up like the points of, well, what if it's brewed in a cold place, and then it ships, of course. Or if it's brewed warm and it ships to cold. Like, there are some elements to it where I could see where he's coming from, but I think most beers are brewed warm, correct? Our beers are made warm; they're not made cold.
It's
right.
I think it can ferment at a lower temperature. Obviously, like when you're making the wort, which is the unfermented or uncarbonated beer, it's hot.
Okay.
But Brendan, it don't matter if it's a Miller Lite, bud. You know what I'm saying? It's still gonna taste like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So anyone can help us and
I don't know.
Tell us like no for sure. Because someone said like, well, I've had one that's went from warm to cold, or cold to warm to cold, or whatever, changed temperatures, and they were like, it was fine.
Sure.
But and maybe I have two. I don't remember. But who does that?
Yeah.
Besides Brendan. Besides Brendan.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you can tell us, please use science so it sounds legit.
Please. Yeah. I mean, there's going to be people out there, because the other debate that came up was the question that Justin asked was, what was our preference on beer? I think we meant like on how to drink it.
Oh, like tap. Yeah.
Bottle or can. And I thought we had said before, like my favorite is draft, then bottle, then can. But we had some people in the comments say, are you kidding me? Can is the only way to go.
Why is it though?
And so I don't know. So I think it's got to just be a personal preference.
Yeah. And so I got really heavy into like coffee, and the coffee world. And there's a bunch of like really snobby coffee people that make it unfun to be part of, or not fun. And the best advice I got in that was, the best cup of coffee you could drink is the one you enjoy. So if you like skunked beer, Brendan, you can drink it. And I feel like unless you like, you design it like the heady topper.
Seems like the type that would like a skunk beer.
Yes. Saying. He can't even defend himself.
He charges into people in basketball. Just weirdness, right, Chris?
That's so perfectly timed. That joke was only funny for like 6 people, but that's why it was such a good joke. But like the heady topper was designed to drink out of a can, right? So I get that you want me to have that experience.
Certain things, yes.
If I enjoy it out of a glass, though, does it matter?
I don't think so.
All right, we solved it.
Okay, done.
But if you guys can give us scientific evidence,
I don't either one of those two things,
so we can argue and feel like legit. So, all right,
Baltimore.
Let's talk Baltimore.
Talk Baltimore, because it was Ravens week, which always is something special. It's always a little different. It's always a little special.
Yeah.
For instance, the Steelers practiced with pads on Friday, which is unusual.
I was going to ask you about, because you only get 14.
You only get so many, and sure enough, Tomlin saves one in his back pocket and makes everyone mad.
I believe that.
But yeah, that's a big game, obviously. Going there, Steelers have to win out to get to the playoffs. And going in there, Lamar's still out. You got a great chance to win this game. And it didn't look great. The Steelers the last couple weeks, I'll tell you this, the Steelers have started games really fast recently.
Yeah.
Now they get field goals sometimes, but just driving down the field, taking time, running the ball. And I'm going to say right here, right now, I want to make 2 proclamations on this show for the world to hear. A couple weeks ago, we mentioned about Najee running the ball. I think it was Carolina when he got that guy on the 1-yard line, threw him to the ground, whatever. And we were like, that's how you have to, like. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying he watches the show, because I'm sure he doesn't.
No.
But for whatever reason, that dude has been running like a big dog, just like we know he is, like he can.
Yes, sir.
He has been running people over. I mean, just playing almost possessed. Like maybe he's kind of like saying, hey, if we want to make it, I got to do this, this, and this. I don't know what it is, but he is playing lights out right now. And so, Najee, awesome. Keep it up. Don't stop. Like, you are leading your team as a captain and doing what you're supposed to be doing, and it's fun to watch. We'll talk about the last play in a little bit, but the way that he's running the ball, he's put the team on his back, and maybe some of it's too because he's subbing out a little bit and getting some rest, and so he's more because last year when I was with him, it's like he never came out.
I saw that dude stretch on the field because he had a cramp and didn't come out.
Doesn't come out, and that's that's been talked about. Not just, I'm not saying like this is nothing that is like breaking news, but people have talked about in the past, like Tomlin runs backs into the ground.
Yeah.
And sometimes backs don't want to come out, whatever it is. But if you can have a good combination, like, why not? And right now, Naj is playing like he's getting rested. And every time he runs the ball, look out. Look out. Dude is on fire right now.
And Jalen is crushing.
Doing great.
I mean, it's phenomenal.
They're doing great. It's a great 1-2 punch, great combination. And we've had good backs, like 2 good backs in the past. But for whatever reason, whether it's coordinator or head coach, whatever it is, they just haven't substituted much in, and now they're doing it. And I think you're seeing, you're reaping what you're seeing and what they're doing. And so I think that's been awesome to watch. That's a physical game. I'm sure the guys, the new guys going to Baltimore on Sunday night, the crowd had to be nuts. I'm sure they came out to the smoke and just that place is nuts. It's so much fun. And so awful all in the same moment to play at that place on prime time.
That's accurate.
But so many amazing things happen. To see Coach Harbaugh, who I have a lot of respect for, Miami guy, to see his face at the end of that game, just the like,
that was all
the devastating was just like, Baltimore. Oh man, that's such a great like feeling as a Steeler fan.
Yes.
An ex-player and again, Kenny,
dude, talk about it.
My second proclamation on this show right now is, And I'm a big man. I can say this, and I will add my caveat, my asterisk from earlier. Like, it's Kenny's first year. I get that, but I wasn't sure what to expect with Kenny. I know he played great at Pitt and did a lot of great things. Coming in, I just wasn't sure what to think. I didn't know enough.
Sure.
And early on, I was kind of okay. I think he'll be good. Like, I think there's no problems, and it's not like, I'm not jealous or anything. There's nothing to be jealous of, but I think there was just like, okay, I think he'll be a good player for them. I think he's going to be what they're looking for. I severely, in my opinion, underestimated Kenny. I think he throws the ball better than I thought. He runs way better than I thought. I don't know if he's faster or just more elusive, but he runs the ball way better than I expected and thought. His decision making's really, really good. His leadership, his toughness, just enough of an edge to him, it looks like. So, I apologize, and not that I made this like vocal to anybody else, but sure. In my own head or what I was saying is Kenny, keep doing what you're doing, because you are leading this team and becoming the guy that I think everyone was hoping you would be. And I think the sky's the limit for him, really. Now let's see what year 2, year 3 look like. Like, that'll be the key, in my opinion, like I said, to really take the next step. But he is all that and even more than I thought he was going to be. So, I mean, he led him down the field 2 weeks in a row in Baltimore against a defense who hadn't given up a touchdown, I think, in 15 quarters or something like that. I think there was a stat. Takes him down the field, keep some plays alive, run some, throw some, and then the last play, scrambling, throwing kind of the defender had his back to Kenny. And we always say as a quarterback, if the defender has his back to you, he's like, you can put it anywhere you want.
Sure.
You put it right next to his ear because he can't see you, and your guy's wide open. So he decides to scramble. It's kind of one of those things that, like, he didn't need a touchdown right there in terms of like timing and everything, and then down. I don't think it was like 3rd or 4th down. He could have probably ran it and got yards and done a safer thing. Yeah. But he's playing with confidence right now.
Yeah, dude.
That is it's showing, and it's oozing out of him and his team. And he throws a ball to Naj, and then you're throwing to a back. That's not always like the smartest move, like that kind of a throw. But again, I'm going to give credit to Naj too, because Naj is playing with confidence right now. Like, to make that play, that's a catch receivers make, tight ends make.
Yeah.
He made that play. Unbelievable play by Naj. Great trust by Kenny, getting out there, making the throw. Everybody made plays. Pat, again, making plays on that drive. Like, it's like he knows who to look for.
Yes.
And that's smart. And so Just an unbelievable drive. The guts, the courage to do it at that place. It's almost like, like in watching it, was almost like Kenny didn't even, like, I was like, oh, I'm in Baltimore on primetime? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I just thought I was playing a game like,
Who's this team?
Pitt against
right.
whoever, William and Mary or something. You know, like I don't know, like, but so it's just like he's just playing with like this coolness and it's like, oh, whatever. Yeah. So good for him and them and everybody.
Dude, that was the first. I mean, I saw a glimmer of it at the Raiders game, and that was a special one just with everything surrounding it. But that was the first against the Ravens. Was the first time I sat back. I was like, "Oh, this team's going to be really, really good next year."
Yeah, I think so too.
Like really good. It seems like we're on the same page. Yeah, man. And it's crazy, man. And kudos to Kenny because it seemed like it was the first time, or it seems like when he was out for a week and Mitch was in, but there was like a clear break in the season where it was like, okay, a rookie has stuff to work on. And then he came back and it seemed like, okay,
something just
I'm not going to, he watched film, said I won't do that. And then he hasn't, you know what I mean? So,
and not turning the ball over, which is huge. Dude. So yeah, it's awesome to watch. And they have, one more this week, right? They got to get in, win and get in. And luckily they're playing the Browns at home. Yeah. It's always a good thing. So I see them, obviously they still need, I think, a little bit of help. Outside, I'm not sure. I don't know the scenario, but I think if they win, they have a decent chance. And so, in my opinion, you got the Browns coming to town. The Browns, they're one of those right now. They're probably one of those teams that are like we always used to joke like they've already shipped their cars down to Florida or wherever they're from. So I don't know. I think if you're at Pittsburgh, you got to be feeling pretty good about what you got. The way Kenny's playing, the way the team's playing, the way they're throwing the ball. I mean, that's how they're going down scoring. They're throwing the ball late, and Notch is running hard. So. I just think I think the ball's in the part of the season and to get to the playoff that is in their court that they can control. I think they got it. I think they're going to take care of business at home against Cleveland, and just kind of keep that train rolling.
Dude, I would love to see it, man. We're going to land this plane here shortly. We've got one more beer, but I am curious because we've seen Kenny lead 2 game-winning drives, and then the defense end both games with interceptions. Yeah. Is the ability, or how would you rank this? The ability for a quarterback to lead a game-winning drive in like the fourth quarter with minutes left. How would you rank that in significance, and as far as a metric engaging that's going to be somebody that you can like place a franchise on?
That's huge. Why would they keep a stat on fourth quarter and overtime wins, comeback, fourth quarter wins if it wasn't a big deal? Because the pressure's on. I used to joke at one point I was kind of up there pretty high in the all-time list, and it's because I would stink for 3 quarters, but it's true. You can play awful football and then find a way to do it in the fourth quarter. It's just that's what people want to see. That's what teams want to see. Owners, coaches, the GMs, fans. When it's crunch time. Yeah. Do you want the ball or do you not want the ball? And when you have the ball, you're not going to do it every time. Michael Jordan didn't make every shot he took at the end of the game. Right. He made more and he wanted the ball and he made more than he missed more than he made. I don't know how it works, but you remember the ones he made, not the ones he missed, because those are significant moments. And so I think what he's doing now and just continues to do it on those last drives, and even if it's not the last drive, but in the fourth quarter, like find a way to lead your team. That way, like if the defense isn't playing well, they can say, like, okay, you know what? We just give them the ball and we got a chance to win this game. I feel pretty confident and strong that like my teams, when I play with them, my teammates and the teams that I played on, and fans and coaches, more often than not, when I had the ball, like, okay, there's 2 minutes to go, we have the ball. I felt like they had to think that, okay, we got a real chance to win this game. Yeah. And so that's what you want as a quarterback. You want your team to believe in you. You want your team to be like, all right, here it is. Got it. And so it's a great measuring stick for quarterbacks. Yeah, that's like that one. There's this like, I don't even know if you've ever seen it, but it's a mic'd up clip of you and Tomlin. And you guys are I don't know what the scenario was, but it was asking like for the ball in like overtime or something. Yeah. And I don't know, you have to forgive me. Somebody can give us the details, but in the mic'd up clip, you go up and it's like, you want to take the ball against the greatest defense in the league? And Tomlin goes, well, I got you. And you're like, all right.
It's like it's the number one defense. Yeah, but I got you.
Yeah. I'll take that.
So that will affirm your belief that not only your team but the rest of us in Pittsburgh felt rather comfortable with the ball in your hands, man. Because it feels like even if you couldn't pull it off, it felt like, well, shoot, man, if he can't do it, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't going to be done. What, dude? Is this clear?
Oh,
I got a champagne to close the night out. Yeah, so we got one more beer here again from
one more beer here.
All of you beautiful people that are so gracious to watch this show and send this in.
Thank you for sending stuff in.
Yeah, this is. I'll break this down. This is called. It's called Mountain Water from High Wire. Mountain Water from High Wire Brewing. Citrus Splash. It's an easy drinking ale. And this is sent in from Steve and Jody Davidak. Oh, sorry. They phonetically did it because they watched this show and know that I can't read. Daviak. Thank you so much for sending this in. This is from North Carolina. It's a Petey Pablo reference for the early 2000 listeners. It is 4.5. It's off the charts in the refreshment, crushability, and friendship levels, dude. Look at this. Look at this. Look at how the metrics. It's
super high in refreshment, crushability, friendship. Yeah. Okay. So I spelled lemon and lime right from the get go. Brewed with lemon and lime.
Is this a Sprite?
It does. It's got a little bit of that. It also has a little bit of
They said this.
Yes, it tastes like. Yes, it smells like Sprite, Sierra Mist, something like that.
Oh, okay. Well, this is Steve and Jody's notes. They said this light and refreshing beer is almost a seltzer. It is great for drinking in quantity when it is hot out, or a lighter alternative at a concert. All right. So, what do we think?
Yeah, I mean, it tastes like. Yes, you could. Yeah. It tastes like. I mean, it tastes like a pop. Like,
really?
So, yeah. I mean,
not like a seltzer because most seltzers taste like more of like a LaCroix. Here's the beer cam here. This is what we're working with.
It is so light.
Yeah.
Super light. That's good. That's how you get away without saying like I'm not drinking a seltzer,
dude.
I'm not drinking a seltzer. That's not. I'm a man.
Nah, dog. That's a LaCroix. That's a straight up LaCroix. That's if you mix the lemon and lime LaCroix together.
You
can't even taste the alcohol.
No, it's unbelievable. It's very good. Very good, very light.
Makes me forget that it's the weather outside's terrible. I'd give that like an 8. I don't know that I would order that, but if you had a bunch at your house, I'd be like, oh, cool.
This would be an amazing. I mean, it is very good. You can drink anytime. It's kind of like those lits that we had that one time.
I was gonna say that.
You could, I mean, in the summer by the pool, I'd put it on ice.
Yeah,
I mean, I know it sounds weird. You couldn't do it with the beer, but it's just really.
I think they're very good. They got a lot of nerve calling that a beer. Brother, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's very delicious.
Yeah. Thank you to you guys for sending that in. Thank you to the brewery. Thank you. That's unbelievable.
Yeah. So that's very good. Well, we promised a shorter episode tonight, and we're going to deliver on our promise. Is there anything else before we land this plane, Ben, that you'd like to say, share with the fans? Thank yous. Anything else?
I don't think so. Thank you, Spence, for 2022. We're going to do a new year of balling.
Oh yeah, this is 2023.
It's our first one of 2023.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to hopefully our live one that we're going to do in a couple weeks. I think we'll get more details next week when we do our next show, and have some real good hardcore information for you guys. Good luck to the Steelers this Sunday versus the Browns. Shouldn't be too hard, but don't put any pressure on anybody.
It is the Browns.
It is the Browns.
Yeah.
No, just thanks to everybody for tuning in. Hopefully this year will be even better. Enjoy the show, the comments, everything you got. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah.